text saying, "Can we talk later today?" It was Friday afternoon, and I was driving home from work, already slipping into that relaxed weekend mindset. We'd been together for nearly 2 years. Our relationship had its highs and lows, sure, but nothing that hinted at what was about to unfold. I assumed she wanted to discuss a weekend trip or revisit the idea of moving in together, something we had been entertaining a few weeks prior. While I was envisioning our future, she had already begun rewriting our past. That evening, we met at her place. She lived in a cozy little apartment, bathed in warm lighting with leafy green plants perched on every windowsill. The air was scented with a mix of vanilla candles and her signature perfume, a fragrance that still lingers in my memory. Normally, she'd greet me with a hug or flash that playful smirk she wore whenever she had something lighthearted to share. But this time was different. She sat silently on the couch, arms crossed, eyes distant. I took a seat across from her, and for the first time, I noticed the weight of the silence between us. Then she spoke. "I've been thinking. I need some space. Maybe we should just be friends." Her tone was even, steady, like the decision had already been made long ago. There was no hesitation, no emotional tremble in her voice. It felt like she'd practiced these lines, like I was merely acting out a scene she had written in her head. For a moment, I thought I had misunderstood her. Her words didn't align with the reality I thought we shared. Just a week earlier, she had uploaded a picture of us with the caption, "Is this my person?" Only 2 nights ago, we were curled up together on her couch, binging our favorite Netflix series. And now this. I paused. I studied her face. There was no regret in her expression, no sadness, just still calm. And then I did something she hadn't anticipated. I smiled, not with sarcasm, not with resentment, but with quiet acceptance. "Okay," I said. That single word shifted the entire energy in the room. Her expression faltered, just for a heartbeat. She hadn't expected me to agree so effortlessly. She shifted slightly, as if bracing for a reaction, for me to plead, to question, to unravel. Maybe she thought I'd ask if someone else was involved. But I offered her none of that. I stood, took one last look at the apartment I had once considered part of my future, and simply said, "Take care of yourself." Then I walked out, closed the door behind me, and didn't look back. What came next wasn't loud or chaotic. It was methodical, almost clinical. I removed every trace of her from my life. Her number? Deleted. Our photos? Archived. Spotify access? Revoked. Social media? I didn't block her. I simply erased her, as if she had never existed in my digital universe. Some might call that petty. I call it preservation. That night, I sat alone in my apartment with no music, no TV, no distractions. Just me, the dim light, and the emptiness she had left behind. And I won't lie, it hurt. The pain was sharp, the silence heavy. But I never texted, never called, not once. Days bled into weeks, then a month. And then, out of nowhere, about 4 weeks later, my phone lit up with her name. "Hey, just checking in. Hope you're doing okay." I read it, then locked my phone. 3 hours passed. Another message followed. "I miss our conversations." She was casting a line, hoping for a bite. But I gave her nothing. Fast forward 6 weeks after the breakup. A mutual friend invited me to a small gathering. I debated going, but ultimately decided it was time to re-enter the world. And who did I see the moment I walked in? Her. She looked stunned. Her smile flickered and vanished the instant she saw how well I was doing. I looked sharper, healthier. I laughed with ease. Meanwhile, she seemed like someone frozen in expectation, waiting for a moment that wasn't coming. We didn't speak that night, but I caught her watching me more than once. Later, that same friend pulled me aside and said, "She told me she didn't expect you to go so cold. She thought maybe you'd still be around. Stay friends. Keep in touch." That's when I understood. She hadn't planned on losing me entirely. She wanted the reassurance without the relationship, the fallback guy she could count on for emotional comfort without any strings. She thought she could let go and still hold on. But I wasn't built to be someone's emotional safety net. I wasn't going to stick around while she found herself. She asked for space. I gave her silence. She wanted distance. I gave her disappearance. She said, "Let's still be friends." I became a ghost. Now, over a year has passed, and I've evolved in ways I never imagined. I've traveled solo, started keeping a journal, reconnected with friends I had let slip away. I've built a life where I no longer wait around for someone to make up their mind about me. And yes, sometimes I still think about her. Not with anger, not with pain, just with clarity. She was the lesson I didn't know I needed, the catalyst that pushed me to rebuild. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can say isn't "I love you" or "I hate you." It's nothing at all. She said, "I need space. Let's be friends." I said, "Okay." And then I vanished. Not because I hated her, but because I finally loved myself. And I never looked back.